Now, earlier today, in a blatant power grab, Senate Democrats eliminated filibusters for most presidential nominations. A radical move. Senator Harry Reid, Vice President Joe Biden, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, even President Barack Obama himself. They all blasted it a few years ago. Watch this.
I rise today to urge my colleagues to think about the implications of what's been called the nuclear option and what effect that might have on this chamber and on this country. I urge all of us to think not just about winning every debate, but about protecting free and democratic debate.
This is the single most significant vote, as I said earlier, that I will have cast in my 32 years in the Senate.
We have confirmed 95% of your nominees, and if you can't get 60 votes for a nominee, maybe you should think about who you're sending to us to be confirmed.
Some in this chamber want to throw out 214 years of Senate history in the quest for absolute power. They want to do away with Mr. Smith, as depicted in that great movie, being able to come to Washington. They want to do away with the filibuster.
And joining me now with Reaction 3 lawyers, the co-host of The Five, Kimberly Guilfoyle, TV, radio, talk show host phenomenon, a Sean Compton production, Billy Cunningham, and Democratic strategist, Rick Unger. You just heard them all. We can go through. Let's see. Obama, we got Biden, we got Reid, we got Durbin, we got Schumer, we've got Harkin, we've got Feinstein, we got Kerry, we got Hillary Clinton. All dead set against it just a few years ago.
Yeah, 2005. Here's what's fascinating. You're actually right in what you said about Harry Reid, who said 12 years ago that this exact move would ruin the country. But here's the funny part. Guess who took the exact opposite point of view and supported it dramatically?
Here's one difference.
Mitch McConnell.
All right, here's one difference.
Same thing.
No, he didn't. They did threaten it. One big difference. They didn't do it. They never did it. This is the first.
So
how long have we had this rule in effect?
Let me help Rick a little bit. With
I had a feeling you'd want to.
I live in a country that's a republic with majority rule and minority rights. Thomas Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Lincoln all believed in this filibuster. This is a power grab because of Obamacare.
Why did they leave it out of their Constitution?
Rick, let me say this. 1787 was different today. But this is Obamacare because they know in the next year they're going to get hammered. They're going to ram through their liberal federal judges now because the Senate's going to be Republican. You know it, she knows it, and I know it.
Wait. There's been, what, 215 confirmations this year and 2 rejected? Right. 2?
No,
and this now is...
There were more.
What's that? No.
There were more.
No. 2?
Yeah, well, here's the problem with this is showing that they have no honor and they have no shame. I mean, they're just replete with hypocrisy. Every time you see them make a move, you just say, my gosh, these people just honestly seem like they have no conscience. And they want to push this through because they know how politically weak this administration and the president is. They feel that desperate. But I'll tell you what about conniving Harry Reid. He had these votes ahead of time. He knew that he could be able to get this through. And, I mean, just nothing surprises me at this point.
Do you think this, Billy Cunningham, is in part that a distraction from Obamacare, that they would go this far to get the... By the way, we're not going to be distracted. We're getting right back into Obamacare.
Legislatively, they're dead. House of Representatives, the Senate in a year. This is about administrative agencies like the EPA with liberal federal judges in the D.C. Circuit to say it's all constitutional. This is all about those 3 judges. And they want the EPA to take control of the Congress, the IRS. They want ATF. It's going to be regulation, not legislation. He knows it.
2 weeks ago.
Actually, I'm going to give you a very different point of view, which you can read about in my column at Forbes.com today. Have you noticed in April when this issue came up, what happened? McConnell got together with Reid.
They worked it out.
They worked it out. Didn't you find the Republicans incredibly quiet this time? You want to know why? Because, like you just said, the Republicans believe they're going to win the Senate next year.
And that means
means that Harry Reid's already done the dirty work for Mitch McConnell. They're not going to change it.
John McCain apparently tried to meet with him for an hour. Where was that gang of 8? Now, President Obama 2 weeks ago bragged about remaking the courts. That goes to your argument.
Exactly. It's the point. It's about the EPA taking control of the coal all over the country. No legislation, only regulation. He needs those liberal federal judges in the D.C. Circuit to impose that through regulation.
So what they can't get done.
He's the president. He gets to appoint them.
We live in not a parliamentary system, but a republic. This is the first time in American history that there should be marches in the streets with peasants and pitchforks and torches, but it won't happen.
Where in the republic does it say filibuster?
Kimberly?
I'm sorry,
Yeah, I don't know. His rhetoric is just really inspiring, right? Look, what I think the problem is here, this is just really a vicious power grab. They want to get as much through and done as they can while they have the opportunity, and they're not going to care about the way they get it done as long as they can make it happen. You understand that. They're not concerned at all about the Constitution. They're not concerned at all, I don't believe, about the goodwill of the American people. It's what they think is best for the American people, whether you want it or not.
What about the total, complete hypocrisy? You know, you're sitting there making rational arguments why they might have done it, what they're up to. Every one of them said this goes against the Constitution, what our founders and framers.
Who's every one of them?
Every one of them. Barack Obama himself, that he
they're
said.
On record in
they're on record all saying that this is bad for the country, would divide the country. You're not there saying they're hypocrites. I want to hear you, Rick Unger, say it.
First of all, I got to say one thing first. We're all patriots. Just because we don't agree doesn't mean
I want to hear you say they're hypocrites.
They are all hypocrites, both sides, because in 2005...
They didn't do it, Rick.
I'm sorry.
Republicans did not do it.
When they stand up there and they make speeches and they say, this is what we think we should do. Oh, come on.
They threatened
not do it.
So the Democrats were okay with you in April.
They were okay with you in April. With DeWine and McCain,
you agreed with them in April when they didn't do it.
No, I did not.
Well, then why are you taking this position now?
I don't like a parliament. We have a Congress.
Where were you in 2005?
Where's the power of the...
Why aren't you criticizing the Democrats for bad behavior?
What did I just say? Harry Reid totally flipped.
You said all of them. Why don't you say the Democrats are hypocrites?
And the Republicans.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
They didn't do it.
When they didn't do it.
They didn't do it.
Wait,
Rick, they didn't do it.
You can yell as loud as you want. It doesn't change the reality.
They didn't do it.
In 2005. They
didn't do it.
Yeah, great. In 2005, George Bush couldn't get his judicial nominees through.
They didn't do it.
The Democrats wouldn't let it happen.
The Gang of 12.
What happened?
They didn't do it.
And why didn't they do it? It was the Gang of 14,
because it was the nuclear option. They wouldn't do it.
8, 10, 12, 14.
It was 14,
but
not 12.
in the end, more rational views prevailed.
Yeah,
and the difference here is
that when we get to January,
let me go to Kimberly.
I don't know. This is like
they won't change it.
I'm used to Bob Beckel. Now Bob seems tame in comparison. I don't know.
Oh, well,
he can't handle the truth. That's the problem.
I got to tell you, if you look at the cover-ups, the lying, this is becoming the most lawless regime in the history of this country. Agree?
No respect for legal authority of the
NSA.
Constitution.
Yeah.
Wag the dog. Watch with Iran. Wag the dog. You watch what happens.
Yeah, I think this is a distraction, but we're not going to be distracted. Rick Unger, we're getting right back to Obamacare. But thank you all for being with us. Good to see you.